Dramatic pause. Today I am going to be speaking about some unpopular opinions. Keyword is opinions, and it's what I think may be unpopular, but I guess it might be unpopular in my eyes because people aren't talking about it. But before I continue, hi, my name is Liseho. I am an astrology practitioner, a tarot reader, and a student of esotericism. Right. So, what I feel like, obviously, this is a story time if you don't know me already. What I feel like a lot of people have been experiencing while Neptune has been in Pisces is this easily accessible, digestible form of spirituality. It's everywhere and anybody can do it. Inverted commas, anybody can do it. But now, I've had like a few conversations here and there, and what I've noticed is a lot of people have become disillusioned about what's been happening, and um, people on the spiritual train coming out as frauds, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, there is that, mystic energy with Pisces energy, but there's also like the deceptive energy as well, pulling wool over your eyes. And, you know, it kind of got me to thinking, about my own journey, how I got here, why I'm still here, because sometimes I'm like, you don't want to get off? No? No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, a few things that I've had to like realize and confront and accept about like being a spiritual practitioner on this path. It's not easy because a lot of the times you have to be the one to hold yourself accountable. Yes, you can follow some guru or some, I don't know, guru who will tell you everything, but at the end of the day, you need to do the work on your spiritual path. You are the one who puts in the most effort. You are the one who's going to see the results. And, specifically, I feel like it does apply in astrology as well. It's just maybe a few details might be different, but specifically with the tarot, right? One thing, well, I'm just going to get into it. I feel like there's certain things people aren't saying. And I'm like, okay, let me just come and say them. But it's just my opinions. You're welcome to disagree with me, take it with a pinch of salt. You're welcome to mise and go into another video. No one's keeping you here. But I'm going to speak about unpopular opinions and specifically associated with the tarot, but I feel like it does apply to astrology. The first one. I don't think you should practice tarot if you're not willing to be honest with yourself. This does have a story time. Everything's probably gonna have a story time, just a heads up. When I started tarot, I was so full of hope. I was so full of this optimism, like anything can happen. And I'm not saying I don't have that right now. I still feel like there's a lot I don't know. There's a lot I'll probably never know, and that's okay. But, when you first learn tarot, anything can happen. Three of Cups can be a really good time. Like you don't know where things can go, and I think that's the fun thing. Is that in the beginning you're still learning, you're still growing, you are inspired, you're just motivated. However, everything happens in a pattern, in some sort of cycle. And with the tarot, you notice there's certain themes associated with certain cards, right? And it's funny that I bring up Three of Cups because I do have a story for that card. So Three of Cups, to put it bluntly, we're looking at a sense of emotional fulfillment, right? And I remember when I started pulling this card, I would get excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like meet with people, I'm gonna go out, this is what I'm gonna do. And the one time that I pulled this card, I went to school, I went home, and I like watched a movie with my family. I remember I went to bed so disappointed. I was like, I don't understand. Like, what did I miss? I pulled Three of Cups today. I should have gone out. I should have done this. I should have done that. And I had to ask myself, I'm like, what is that card energy associated with? What is it about? What does it mean? Creation of emotional fulfillment. Now, it wasn't what I thought it would be or thought it would look like, but was I not emotionally fulfilled bonding with the people that I care about? I was. But because I had this idea, I was like blinded by my expectations. And I had to be honest with myself. At the end of the day, what is the root of this card? What is the root of this energy? What is it trying to say? And then once it sunk in what it was actually about, I'm like, okay, I need to not let my expectations cloud my judgment and cloud my intuition as well, because that does happen a lot. Is that we pull cards and we're either like thinking the world will happen, or we let our previous experience cloud our judgment. What you need to do is combine the two. You can't be so out of the box that you don't even. I can't be like Three of Cups is about betrayal and sorrow. Nah, Five of Swords, hands down, Five of Swords. But I also need to leverage what I know about the card and stick with, okay, this is emotional fulfillment. And look at it, observe how that energy plays out, whether it's like a full on spread or it's a day to day observation. So that also kind of brings me to my next point. Point number 2 is that you have to be honest with yourself, but at some point you realize that the only way you can be honest with yourself is when you start to take the practice seriously. Is when you, and when I'm saying take the practice seriously, I mean by studying specifically, right? Just in the sense that, again, tarot, I've noticed that people will be like, yes, it's all about your intuition, it's all about your feeling, which is true. I'm not hating. Like, for the longest time, I was, going off of my intuition, how I worked with the cards. But at some point, if you're a student, I always say I am a student of astrology, of tarot, because I never stop learning. You start to realize that there is a limit to what you can do by yourself and learn by yourself. And it's time to find someone else to teach you, someone else to learn from. And I honestly feel like learning from someone else is one of the most humbling experiences ever, because you need to understand that you don't know everything, which is fine. But in the case of the tarot, I feel like studying it really took me from here to like here, because now I wasn't just basing my interpretations off of my experiences and my expectations and my far out thoughts. I had a foundation to start on. I had ground zero. And then my intuition was able to grow from ground zero. I wasn't basing my readings on the clouds. I was basing it off of, the ground, the soil, something concrete. And it's honestly, not everybody's going to agree with it. And I'm not saying just go get taught by anyone. I don't think every teacher is for everybody, and I also think that you need to be realistic with your current experience. So, for an example, one of the ways that I actually studied the tarot and it made my day, my life, that moment in time, is I was reading 21 Ways to Read a Tarot Card by Mary K. Greer. To me, that is one of the best tarot books that has ever been released. I cannot tell you how much that book has taught me to connect to the meaning of a card. And you do it in 21 ways. And that's exactly my point, where it's like I worked with a card, you work with a card, but you do it for 21 days. You are studying something, you are applying information in a repetitive manner. And that's when you know something is really going to stick and it's going to play a role in your experience. Because I think that, doing something once off, it really isn't effective. And, doing the tarot as well, like, oh, let me learn from this person, let me hear. Like, yes, we learn from different people, but I'm talking about like something practical, something that applies in your life. Like, and maybe this is just me, I completely understand, but I don't do these types of practices because I want like a burst of, inspiration. I do it because it has a actual effect on my real life experience. It betters my real life experience, and it betters me as a human being. It betters my interaction with other people. That's what I want. I want a better human experience, a meaningful human experience. And that comes from using practices that allow me to be honest with myself, that I am willing and open to learning. And also, to my third point, I do on a regular basis. I don't, like, if you want to do this, if you want to be that chakrahan, as we say, I honestly, this is my opinion, but I think you cannot be good at something unless you do it regularly, whatever that means to you. Whether you are pulling cards every week, you are pulling cards every day, you are pulling cards every 2 days, you find what regular is for you. You're pulling either in the morning or in the evening, because if I am being honest, I don't think I would have stuck with this as long or be as good of a reader as I am if I did not apply the information regularly, or what I've learned regularly. And now I also feel like through the regular application of any tool, any craft, you learn where your weaknesses are, where you need to work harder, and you also learn where your gifts are as well. And the weaknesses, they don't feel as weak as time goes on. They don't feel as scary. They don't feel as impeding as they once did. And you learn to deal with the growing pains because you have mastered your craft. You've mastered your weaknesses with time. And that's all we really need to be good at something, is time. So, I don't know. Maybe that is just me. Maybe I'm just, a tourist that wants to see something actually apply in 3D world and is effective in my 3D world. But these three opinions that I have held strong and true. You regularly apply a practice or a craft, in this case the tarot. You study it and you're honest with yourself. There are a lot of people who aren't honest with themselves, which is fine. You don't want to tell yourself the tea, it's okay. But if you're not going to do it, how can you expect the next person to? I'm just saying. But yeah. Anyways, let me know how that resonated with you. If it didn't, that's also okay. Like, what is your unpopular opinion related to this topic? Yeah. But I hope you enjoyed, and see you